Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, it's release day, and Altenew came out with their brand new Mini Delight Set. And to celebrate this release, they are going to do a Instagram hop. So I'm part of the hop, and I encourage you guys to join in the fun because there is a giveaway. Just look up on your Instagram page, Altenew LLC, and that's the very beginning of the hop, and you'll find the details over there. This month's Mini Delight is called Tiny Foliage, and it's so neat. I love this because you can do so much with it. So we're going to make a very serious card today. There's the sentiment in here that says you matter, but then it's buildable because there's an additional sentiment that says remember, and then there's another one that says to me. So you could put remember, you matter to me, or you matter to me. So lots of options with the sentiment for this little stamp set. I'm taking the branch and just the spine of the leaf, and we're stamping it with jet black ink. The spine of the leaf I'm stamping 7 times, 2 branches, you can see there. And then with the Mini Delight set, you get the die, of course, and there are 2 leaf dies. They're different shape. These are kind of wonky, abstract shapes, and so I thought we would do something a little bit different. I'm keeping these black and white when I die cut them out. So I'll take the leaf dies, line them up, die cut them out, and then the 2 branches also. But we are going to use the 2 leaf stamps, but kind of in a different way. Kind of thinking outside the box. I have a panel that I created a window with a square die in. It will completely cover my card front, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then I'm taking a white cardstock that's slightly larger than the window, and I'm going to stamp with my Sugarplum inks. I have the Sugarplum Mini Ink set, and I'm just using 3 of the colors in it. The first color was plum, the second color here is amethyst, and I'm just creating a gradient so I can fill in the background of that window square. So you could do this with any kind of shape. You could do a circle, you could do a rectangle if you wanted to, but I chose for a square today. And using both leaves, on the bottom I used the largest leaf, on the top it kind of faded up towards the top with the smallest leaf. And I'm just making sure that I have a little bit of white space in there too. It kind of reminded me of like little pebbles. I don't know, leafy pebbles, I guess you could say, but I just love the way it turned out. So I have plum, amethyst, and then my lightest was pale mauve. Just something a little bit different. I'm going to use my tape runner, and we're going to adhere this directly to my card base. I like to line it up behind my window where I want it, and since this is a card front panel, once I'm happy with my placement, I'm going to go ahead and tack that down to the front of my card base. So we're just tacking down our pebbly, leafy background. Okay, now we're going to set, actually got to trim this top part off, and then we'll set our card base aside. I'm going to add our tree branches to the right side of our window. So we just need to basically tack it down at the very bottom of one of the branches, and then our second one is kind of going to overlap on the edge, the right edge of the window. Once this is tacked down, we're going to stamp our sentiment. I think that's going to look really neat. Love the way the black and white in front, and then the color in the back. Okay, for my sentiment, we are going to just stamp you matter, and we're going to stamp it just to the left of our tree. And I was going to use my jet black ink, but thought, you know what, the plum is, oops, sorry about that. The plum ink is pretty dark, and so I thought we'll just stamp with the plum ink. And just trying to eyeball it, making sure it's straight, lining up to the left edge of the window, and it's stamped beautifully. Now once we have our sentiment stamped, we're going to flip over our panel. I'm going to use my Altenew foam tape behind my panel, and I did trim down some very thin strips of it to put on the main portion of our branch, just so it stays up and it won't collapse when you mail it. Next, we're going to add our panel onto our card base, and then we have our leaves left. I'm going to take some small foam squares, and then we're going to add some leaves to our tree, making sure that there is one on the top. And then I did stamp 7 leaves, so the one on the right will just have 3 leaves, and then the one in the middle basically is going to have 4. Now after we have all of our leaves adhered, we just need to finish up with our last one. Add that to the very top. I'm not going to do very much more. Like I said, I wanted this to be a very serious card. But I do want to add just a little extra something, so I went through my embellishments and found some clear bubbles, and I'm just going to add a few next to my sentiment, just gluing them down, and then I'll add a couple of them in the top left corner here too. But that's my card for today, guys. I love the Altenew Mini Delight Sets because they're a subscription too. I don't know if you know it. If you subscribe, it's $7.99. But if you don't want to subscribe, they're $9.99 for the stamp and die. But join us for the Instagram hop. I think you'll be very inspired, and you get lots of project ideas too. Have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me. We will see you soon.